Hey everybody, this is Sportimus here, and this time around I'll be reviewing the Generation 1 Hot Rod. As some of you may remember, or most of you, Hot Rod was a character that first appeared in the 1986 Transformers animated movie. He was Daniel's companion, I guess you can say. The first scene you see them is Hot Rod and Daniel fishing, and next thing you know, one thing leads to another, and there's a big old attack on the city. Now, Hot Rod is the first to see that there's danger. He basically goes up to the observatory area, lookout mountain, and he looks, I think Daniel was the one who sees that there's a hole in the ship. There's a shuttle that's coming in, and Hot Rod takes a better look at it and sees that there are Decepticons and immediately starts firing on the shuttle. Now, if it wasn't for him, the Decepticons would have had a much bigger drop on the Autobots, and we probably would have seen a much worse outcome than we did in the movie if it wasn't for Hot Rod bringing about attention. Now, you may think, wow, that's pretty cool. Hot Rod was an early warning. But as it turns out, Hot Rod is, I guess, overeager to dispatch Decepticons, and he sees Optimus Prime fighting Megatron. He wants to help. Cup, the old-timer, tells him that's, not Hot Rod's business. Let Optimus Prime deal with it. Of course, Hot Rod ignores it, runs to Prime's help, becomes Megatron's hostage, and Megatron ends up shooting Optimus Prime several times, giving him irreparable damage. Basically, because of Hot Rod, Prime dies. Now, a lot of people blame Hot Rod for this. They don't like the character because of that. But I don't know. You can't really blame Hot Rod for that. I mean, he got in the way and all that, but he didn't do it intentionally, so he shouldn't be villainized for it. But anyway, later on in the movie, he gets the Matrix of Leadership and becomes Rodimus Prime, which, to be honest with you, was kind of cool in the end, because you hear Optimus's voice saying, "Rise, Rodimus Prime." And of course he throws Galvatron right through Unicron. But then you see him in Season 3, and it's like you get this brooding, is that a word? You get this guy, Rodimus Prime, who feels that he doesn't deserve to be leader. But anyway, that's a different character, even though it's the same guy. But Hot Rod was the better of the two versions, I guess. And but you don't really see that much of him. But anyway, they made a toy of the character Hot Rod, and this is how he looks like. And this is one of the rubber tires. As you can see, you can see him hiding underneath there. But he rolls very well because of that. He's got very good traction, and no plastic squeaky noises like you would hear on the plastic wheels. And he has lots of chrome on the sides. And he's your testosterone male Hot Rod type of car, hence the name Hot Rod, with the flames and everything. And he's a futuristic car, and all the new Transformers that appeared in the movie, and then after the movie, like Season 3 and 4, I believe, were futuristic bots. There were no more of the realistic cars that you had in Season 1 and 2, because they pretty much killed them all off, except for Jazz and maybe a couple others. So anyway, you got this, and this is Hasbro's way of cheating, because it's much easier to design a Transformer that looks like an imaginary vehicle than it does to design a Transformer that looks like a real vehicle. So anyway, that's just my opinion. It's obvious what colors he is. It's got a little bit of a translucent blue there though, which is kind of cool. No interior though, I mean not really. There's some stuff in there but nothing significant. So anyway, to transform him, it's real easy to do. First thing you do is you pull the legs out, like so. Oh god, I said that word. And then you roll the feet out from the back. And the feet, I believe, are metal. And this is the start of less and less metal. Then you basically pull this to the side, forming his arm, and this is the arm here. And now you have a Quasimodo hot rod. Just kidding. Twist this around. And then you're going to pull this up. Make sure the head is out of there. And around. And you're going to twist this around like so. I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. It snaps right down in there. And you just slide that right down there and it holds it in place. Then you're going to go back here. You're going to bring this around 180 degrees. And then his arms come out like this. And you bend them forward. And now you have the original Generation 1 Hot Rod. Now he came with two weapons. And they're both gray, they look like this. I cannot find the other one. But it looks very similar to this one. And why they did that, I don't know, because in the movie, he didn't use a weapon. Not this kind, at least. These were his weapons. He shot lasers from his exhaust pipes, which is kind of a cool feature because he doesn't need to carry one. He can punch and shoot at the same time. But in any case, that he was provided with a weapon, and you were able to stick it on his hood engine as well, which I failed to show you, and I apologize for that. I never did that personally. There was a Target Master version of him where you could do the same thing, but I just thought that always looked stupid. But anyway, come on, get in there. There we go. There is Class 6 Hot Rod. Now his articulation is not worth squat. He has no leg movement whatsoever. It's stiff as a board. His arms are a little bit better. They can swing out like this and that. His elbow bends like that. And that's something that is not too bad. And he also twists at the elbow because of the transformation. So he's got a little bit of a wiggle room there. No movement of the hand to speak of, and no head rotation. So all of his flexibility is in his arms, articulation. So that's really about it. But this has more articulation than the Rodimus Prime toy did. Rodimus Prime was basically a stick that you used to pound the living daylights out of Galvatron. That's all he was good for. And his proportions were incredibly wrong. I mean, he just was awful. So I used him when I was a kid as Rodimus Prime, even though he was still Hot Rod. But you get my drift. He was more fun to play with as a kid because of his better proportions, better looks, and at least he had some movement on his arms. And here's a look at his face here. But it's a pretty good mold of Hot Rod's face. So I'll do a 360 view of him here. Do I recommend this figure? If you like Hot Rod, yeah. I mean, he's the first. And he's really not that bad looking as a display piece. Vehicle mode, I would give him, in terms of looks, I give him an 8. He looks pretty good. Transformation, I give it also an 8. It's nothing spectacular, but it's nothing that's too boring. And it is fun to transform him. And robot mode, I give him a 7.5. Simply because he has no leg movement at all.